Is this thing going? Mic check. What's going on, AAA family? It's your boy, Coach Smook, here on the Coach Smook Network, your favorite Alabama insider and sports media personality, bringing you another live morning show. Before we get into the show, I got to ask you to do a few things. First, just come in and like the stream. You don't know how much that truly helps the channel continue to grow. Make sure you share it out. Let somebody know that you're tapped in here on the Coach Smook Network. And also, just make sure you're subscribed. If you're not a member of the AAA family, take an opportunity and join by typing in the chat right now, exclamation mark, AAA. Hit the enter button and you'll see a link provided in the chat. And if you need help, one of our moderators can assist you. We thank you for every future partner that's getting ready to join this family and help us continue to grow. And today, we want to invite you to get into this conversation. The thoughts are on you. The phone lines are open for you. I want to hear your thoughts here on the Coach Smook Network. Somebody type it in the chat. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's go.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Hey, y'all, I'm walking out of Walmart. Check, what's your name, bro?
Man, my name Michael McKinney, man. I'm a true Alabama fan, and this man does a good job on his podcast.
What's up, bro?
Reviewing Alabama football. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate
Roll
that,
Tide.
bro. Roll Tide, man.
Good morning. Let's go. Appreciate y'all for tapping in today. Let's go, AAA family. I appreciate y'all for pulling up on this beautiful Monday morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on, TikTok, stop doing that to me, man. We got this all content, man. Appreciate you, Antonio Kirk TV Free. Appreciate you for tapping in, man. Give it up for my TikTok family. Tapping in early, tapping the stream, man. I appreciate y'all. Continue to share the stream up for me. Share the stream up for me. Appreciate the roses over there, Antonio, popping the stream off. Good to see y'all over here, man. Everybody on the YouTube side pulling up. I appreciate y'all. What's good? My boy Coach Snell Gaming over here. Zach over here. Jordan over here. I see you on the ones and twos. Khalil, what's good, man? Good to see everybody. We had to push it back a few minutes, man. My workout sessions in the morning have been going really, really well. I got new clients, man. I had two that was supposed to show up this morning. I only got to deal with one today, so we got another one going to be showing up a little bit. Well, the one that missed this morning going to be showing up in the afternoon. So going to make that up. And then I got the client, like, man, we busy. We've been working. We had a great weekend. For those of y'all that didn't know, we had a great opportunity to go and spend time and represent the Coach Smook Network with none other than the great Jeremiah Castile, former Alabama defensive back, national champion, NFL defensive back, and now he's impacting lives of men and women, but really his ministry is focused on impacting the young men, the next generation of men, and even the ones that are the current generation, just impacting them and instilling them their purpose, man, finding their purpose. And so we had a good time hanging out with him. Give it up from Mr. Castile, and got us some stories to tell for the future going forward. Got some fun things to talk about today. Y'all, even yes, Coach Smook, the fake insider got surprised, man, with the Osani Gales commitment. I'm gonna give y'all my reaction to that and the things and conversations that happened that morning while this announcement was being made. I want to tell y'all something, man. For those people that think this recruiting game is all about money, there's still some integrity amongst this generation, and as things continue to change and the parameters continue to be adjusted for NIL and how recruiting is done, I think we're going to see this thing clean up, and it's going to be a new era of college football that we have the same type of energy and support for it, the same type of passion as fans and analysts and people that cover the game. So it's going to be a fun day to talk a little bit of football and react to some things. And then we're going to get into our offense today, man. We're going to talk about the wide receivers, and we're going to flip on the defensive side and talk about the defensive backs. And we're going to start kind of looking at what Alabama has on roster and what it should look like going into this season. We're going to highlight a few personnel pieces that we believe are going to be impactful pieces. We're going to review our depth chart, our projected depth chart, and then we're going to talk about the defensive backs and how this pass defense and covering the passing attack from opposing offenses should look. So we're going to get into that today. Y'all tap in, man. Let's do a quick roll call. Here. I want to get the comments on the screen and give everybody their acknowledgement, man. Thank y'all for tapping in on all the platforms this morning. We got Facebook, YouTube, we got the Purple App, Twitch, we got Twitter, we got TikTok, and we got Kick. Zach said, was it really a surprise? Wasn't to me. Hold on, let's you one of those guys. Yeah, you and everybody else all of a sudden saying it wasn't a surprise, but was in the chat asking every day up until the commitment, was he going to commit? Laugh at you. What's up, Zach? Welcome, man. Good to see you over there on Twitter. Finally, the lurkers are coming out, chat. Lurkers are coming out. Appreciate the support over there. Now, let's get into this roll call, man. Starting at the top with the YouTube chat. What's up, Zach? Welcome in. Roll Tide, my brother. Roll Tide, good to see you. Coach Snell Gaming is in the building over here on YouTube. Appreciate you coming in. Let's go. My brother Jordan on the ones and twos in the back, making it do what it do. Shout out to you. Let's go, man. My brother Khalil, little bro Khalil, good to see you in the chat. Roll Tide. Good to see you, Mary J, in the back on the ones and twos, keeping us organized, making it happen, man. Appreciate you. MJ, what's good? Roll Tide, AAA family. Let's go. I think that's all we got on YouTube right now, but shout out to the TikTok family. Continue to tap the screen. We appreciate y'all for continuing to show love. Share the stream. If you're live right now on the YouTube side or on the TikTok side, go ahead and repost it on TikTok. Long press on the screen, and then share it. I was looking at my hat for a second, and Mary J might laugh in the back when I say this. My hat was looking like a former panel mate I used to be on the show with recently. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. All right, y'all, let's get into the show today, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you're not a member of the AAA family, take the opportunity and join it. We're going to show you how to do that right now. And then after that, we're going to get into our first topic of the morning. We're going to react to the recruiting class of Alabama. We got to update our graphic. But this is how you join the AAA family. Jordan, show them how to do it.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel. You're talking about Jalen Milroe and the Pips, the perfect weak side linebacker, right? Put him next to the mic.
Not going to take us a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just still sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
All right, chat. Let's get to it, man. I'm telling y'all right now, Alabama's recruiting class, this 27 recruiting class, is starting to shed a lot of people's mouths. Everybody that's been talking crazy about, and I'm talking about our fan base. I'm not even talking about the opposing fan bases. I'm talking about our very own fan base has probably been more doubtful and more critical of Kalen DeBoer in this. And at this point, I just find it to be the fans that can't let go of the Saban era. There has been this 5 year, what is it now? 6 years, almost 6 years. Kalen DeBoer has only been the head coach of Alabama for going on this is be his third season. We are in 6 years currently, going on 6 years without a national championship appearance. That didn't start with Kalen DeBoer. I need everybody to remember that. And when Coach Saban retired, that recruiting class that he had was the number 3 ranked recruiting class, right? So we have not fallen off. We have not taken a step back. Kalen DeBoer has his winning percentage in his first 24 games at Alabama is better than what we had with Coach Saban. I think we're in the perfect spot to continue to grow. Let's talk about this recruiting class. I got a graphic that I'm about to upload real quick, Jordan, and I'm gonna get it on the screen for us real quick. Y'all give me 2 seconds. Won't take but a second. And I want y'all to check out this recruiting class and how it's shaping up. I know that the jokes have been flowing about 3-star U, but one thing I want y'all to understand that Alabama has been ahead of the curve the past 2 or 3 years with identifying 3-star, quote unquote, 3-star talent that ends up being impact freshmen or immediate impact players, day one ready players. I'm gonna upload this real quick, Jordan. Wrong file name. And when you look at the type of player that we're getting committed to Alabama, getting uber athletes, guys that may not fit the frame of what you would see day one starting at the collegiate level. But Alabama's strength and conditioner program, the nutrition, everything that they have available for these young men, we've seen guys come and transform their bodies in a matter of 6 weeks. And then you think about the off-season workouts and the things, the summer workouts that are now mandatory and that are cleared to, you got those, I think it's 12 or 15 workouts that you're permitted in the summer. And then you come back for fall camp, you got 15 workouts there. Then you got your 2 weeks of prep for the season. There's a lot of time for evaluation and development nowadays. And so when you see personnel or prospects like Alabama has in this 2027 class, and this is early on, this is not cemented. I do think there'll be a few shifts in a few spots, But you look at what we already have attracted, man. Alabama and the staff is doing something special. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna go back to that other view. I kind of like where that was. Let me go. I don't even know how to get back to it. Should have left it. But anyway, let's pull up full screen real quick. And we got the updated graphic with Sonny Gales, the wide receiver commit. Once again, like I said, I had never, I ain't gonna say I had never thought it was a chance, but for what and how we got him, this young man is one that's about building relationships. And there's an opportunity for this young man to be in the rotation early. Shout out to my guy Sully. Hey yo, Sully 334, my guy. Appreciate you for tapping in, brother. I give it up for him. Tapping in. Anybody else that just jumped in, drop a comment so we can acknowledge you. If you're on TikTok, do the same. Same with Facebook. Drop a reaction. Share the stream. Let everybody know that you're live with the Coach Smook Network this morning. We got the phone lines opening up in about 20 minutes. We got the phone lines opening up in 20 minutes. So get ready to give your thoughts on today's topics or whatever's on your mind when it comes to Alabama football. Alabama football fans, AAA family, appreciate y'all. Now, like I said, this class started off with a solid commitment by a 4-star quarterback, Trent Seaborn, followed up with Oakley Keegan. Then we jumped on the defensive side and got a huge addition of a interior defensive lineman, Avery and Parley. You don't hear a lot of people talking about this young man. He's hidden down there in Mobile, but you turn on the film and you can't wait to see him. London Simmons, a junior version of London Simmons. Asai Fager will be a senior at this point in time. Steve Bowler will be a senior asset at this time. Who else? We got a lot of young guys that'll be. Corey Howard on that defensive line. Those guys been to work their way into being established starters. And guys like Polly coming in, their 3-star, will have room to develop. But this is a guy, early enrollment would do him a lot of justice because he's going to be able to put on 15 to 20 pounds on that frame. And he is a violent interior defensive lineman. Then you got the big commitment, the surprise commitment from everybody. Well, it wasn't, we talked about the Elijah Haven thing about 48 hours before it happened, how things started changing the trajectory of that conversation. And getting him in this class was huge because now you're seeing a lot of 7-on-7 teammates, some travel ball teammates, relationships being, kind of being the core of this recruiting class. And that's what I like about this new age of recruiting is you kind of find, you find the crew and you know what somebody's about to do. These kids are real huge about relationships. They know that they could play a part in their future projections as far as being on a championship team. And championship teams attract attention. Championship teams attract the scouts, the NFL scouts. And I talk with a lot of Alabama parents, former player parents that students and their players are now at different schools. And they talk about how much attention that Alabama practices we're getting, even still under Kalen DeBoer and Courtney Morgan. How many representatives from different organizations at the NFL level would be at the practices evaluating players during practice? So, these kids understand that these young men, these opportunities can be limited, but if they take advantage of it, especially in a time like this, as freshmen coming in, a lot of these 3-star developmental talent guys, if they could come in early, you can do this some justice. Continuing down this list, though, man, Elijah Haven was a 5-star. This is a guy that I think, and this is going to be funny to have him and Keelan Russell and Trent Seaborn on the roster at the same time. How many years does that last? Because I do think this is going to be another future QB battle that is going to have Alabama fans wondering, how do we keep this? How do we keep this together? It's going to be a tough one. But look at Nigel Newkirk, a 3-star running back. I believe he's going to be a 4-star at the end of this rating period. Same as you saw Tay Phillips. We got to update the graphic. Tay Phillips got his 4-star rating officially from Rivals. We saw him post that. Shout out to him. Congratulations to Tay Phillips. Then you got Michael Mbuife, the other tight end in this class. Now, this is the guy, between him and Oakley Keegan, a lot of people ask me, who I think would stick. I think Mbuife fits the offensive scheme a lot more, but Keegan is that physical presence that we had to go and get with Josh Ford from Oklahoma State out the portal. And he kind of provides depth because we're going to lose Jay Lindsey this year. You'll have Max Sutter, who I believe is more of a hybrid HY type of asset. And you're going to need some more depth as far as that true H-back style. And that's why I think Keegan is a important add. Not a lot of schools looking his way. And Alabama is a big offer for him. So I think he sticks in Buife. He is just a schematic fit for what Kalen DeBoer and Brian Grubb want to do with the offensive scheme when it comes to utilization of the tight ends. And then the running back, Tate Phillips, we just got done talking about the 4-star out of Columbia, South Carolina. Looking for him to have a huge senior year, man. This young man, I think he broke for right at 3K total yards last year as an athlete in his offensive scheme. So going to be cute, cool to see that. And then I want to say Darius White is the 3-star commitment. Is he reclassifying to be in the 27 class? We need to confirm that. Gibbs is the 4-star. There's so many tall players. What benefit does that give us? We'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to kind of jump into that when we talk about the wide receiver core and the defensive backs this upcoming season. We're going to good question. And then finally, the 4-star wide receiver, Sonny Gales. And like I said, we were on the show live when y'all heard me say I don't think he will be an early commit. If we do get him as a commit, it'll be because he really wants to be a part of Alabama. A lot of the narrative around his camp was that he was looking for the highest bidder. And if you look at what Alabama, and it's easy to go and see where guys' trajectory is for their NIL, but this staff has doubled down on saying they're not buying players in this class. And it's a thing where you have a strategy of what you want to target, the skill sets you want to target, and then the value, you determine the value for that skill set, regardless of what the name is. And I think this strategy is working out well for him. And then the trajectory of what maybe a Ryan Williams or a wide receiver like Latier Brooks, who saw a 3-star type of entry type pay or NIL, right? And you see the type of impact and he was able to get in value he was able to create when he got his opportunities and took advantage of playing on the field and creating value for himself in the game, in practice, being high GPA right now, staying ahead of schedule with his education. Latier Brooks is a marketable piece. So you'll see a number 3 a lot everywhere in a lot of these spots when you're talking about promotion of Alabama football. I guarantee you, Latier Brooks will be part of those forefront guys that are utilized in a lot of the commercial clips, a lot of hype videos, like Xavier Brown, Dijon Lee. You see the same guys in a lot of these premieres and things when you're talking about Alabama football. Keelan Russell, another guy. So Cedarian Morgan, a in-state hometown hero that's making waves with his production, but just his physique alone. Like, these guys are going to have opportunities to create value, and Alabama didn't have to, go deep in the back. That's why you see such a wide spread of talent in these last 3 classes, right? I think they've learned each year how to adjust. Appreciate y'all for tapping over there on the TikTok side. Blue, Michael X, and Pretty Made. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Give it up for the TikTok family. Larry Williams said, howdy and good morning from Northeast Alabama, Stevenson, Alabama, USA. Roll Tide to you, Mr. Larry Williams. Welcome in. We're ready to open the phone lines here in about 20 minutes. Stick around. We're talking wide receivers and defensive backs on the roster. Just reacting to the recruiting class. Once again, the current updated commits for the University of Alabama here on the screen in front of you. We appreciate y'all for tapping in today again. Once again, Trent Seymour, Oakley Keegan, tight end, defensive tackle Avery Parley, QB Elijah Haven, 5-star, RB, running back Nigel Newkirk, kicker Luke Cody, tight end Michael Mbuife, running back Tate Phillips, cornerback Darius White, kind of cornerback Braylon Gibbs, and wide receiver Sonny Gale. And once again, we have to confirm if White is going to be reclassifying as a 27 prospect instead of 28. I do think he's currently a 28 prospect. You'll know by the end of July what that perspective looks like as far as his recruiting. So let's transition real quick. We're going to get into this depth chart, but more so not necessarily the depth chart. We're going to review the offensive depth chart, but we're going to get into the conversation about the wide receivers and also the defensive backs. Where did these 2 phases of Alabama's program rate? Where does the trajectory look like? We're going to get into some personnel
We're going to get into some stats from last year. We're going to get into the current projected depth chart or the wide receiver rotation. Let's talk about it here on the Coach Smook Network. But before that, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, man. Right now, just want to shout out one of our primary sponsors, our new sponsors, Frederick Harris and Farmers Insurance of Hoover, Alabama. We appreciate you for supporting the Coach Smook Network and supporting everything that we do. Everybody give them a hand clap, man, in the chat. We appreciate Frederick Harris. If you need any insurance needs, anything, education, you need actual policies, you need things updated, you want to try to learn how to make your insurance work for you, he's educated on all of that, very, very well versed in that aspect of things. And we have those connections and resources available for you through partnership here at the Coach Smook Network. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in. Again, give it up for Frederick Harris and Farmers Insurance. Now, let's get into it. Let's switch up the beat a little bit. Let's get this depth chart up real quick. I want to acknowledge this depth chart real quick. 1 second. Put this up here. So check this out. I'm going to keep this depth chart just like this because I don't think the quarterback battle will be done in the coach's mind. I don't think the battle will be done by the end of fall camp. That's just my personal opinion. In my opinion, the battle was done A-Day. We saw what that offense looked like when 12 was at the quarterback position. I think everybody saw how the wide receivers were able to create space, how they were thrown into open space. So for that aspect, I'm going to continue to be optimistic, even though I do know Austin Mack will take the first snaps of the season. Barring any injuries or any catastrophic performance or I guess you could say recession, right, in his display during practice, because the thing is, Austin Mack looks great in practice. He looks great in practice. Same way, Ty Simpson did his red shirt junior year. When you've been in college for 4 years, you should be able to be a polished quarterback in practice. It's kind of just muscle memory at that point, controlled environment, limited decision making, and when you have those limited decisions, you have space to kind of prep for those, right? But looking at this depth chart, I really think Keelan Russell is going to end up being the guy that ends up getting the job by week 2, right? By the end of the second week, I do believe he will be named the full-time starter, and that's when we will see Alabama's offense continue to ascend. Now, today we're diving into the wide receiver depth, and I want to talk about the tight ends, but at the same time, I'm not going to get into the personnel as far as tight ends. I'm going to include them in some aspects of the conversation today. But my projected starters right now: Derek Meadows, Latsier Brooks at the slot, and then Ryan Williams at the Z. I think this is going to be a lineup that produces a lot just because of the skill sets and the assets available. You look at just pure speed alone. Derek Meadows is one of those guys that can really, for a 6'5", 215, 220-pound wide receiver, he can be a vertical threat. He's not a sloth out there. His frame is, you see him filling out his frame. He's not a long, lanky frame, but his vertical is something that I believe is going to allow us to really be extensive in the vertical passing attack, meaning he can jump. The young man can jump. Not just him, but you got Cedarian Morgan right there behind him. I truly believe that he's going to be a true asset for the wide receiver room. Let's get this wide receiver depth chart up. Not depth chart, but the personnel available in here. Let's talk about it. Let's start from the top and work our way to the bottom. We got MJ Cherwin, a success story, inspirational story that's on the roster. And he's not just there for hopes and dreams. This young man can actually play. It was a reason he went in the portal. He had opportunities elsewhere, but I think he understands the value of being able to develop and be at the University of Alabama. Like I said, you always have somebody at an Alabama practice evaluating. Noah Rogers, we won't have him this season with his injury, but look for him to make a huge return next year with the new group of receivers coming in and some of our young guys that'll be thrown into the fire this year with having some experience under their belt. Ryan Williams, Rico Scott, Latsier Brooks, Derek Meadows, 4 names that we are very familiar with from last year. That's all your production from last year actually returning. with Ryan Williams and Latair Brooks being the bulk of that. Rico Scott had some spots and had some quality production, but limited in that rotation last year. I think his years this year too. He's going to have a huge year rocking at number 7. And Tyler Henderson is a name that we're not hearing a lot about right now. I think him coming in and understanding that playbook is going to take a little bit of time, but they will find spots to utilize their speed. Another 5'10" to 6'1" type of build, 6'2" build that can really stretch the field, that can really fly. Aubrey Walker is another flyer. I skipped over Sedarius Morgan for a reason. Aubrey Walker is another guy that will be here in the fall. Well, he's actually there now. And I just think his speed with Amari Saab, it's not crazy to think that you could see 7 or 8 guys rotating in this year's rotation, starting with Ryan Williams, Rico Scott, Latair Brooks, Derek Meadows, your 4 main guys, Sedarius Morgan being that true freshman asset 5. And it wouldn't be crazy to see an Aubrey Walker and a Tyler Henderson be those 6 and 7 guys that are playing those 4 or 5 reps throughout the season and seeing them develop. Amari Saab is a guy that I think they want to bring in and continue to develop. He played both sides of the ball in high school. And when you see those athletes come in, there's some technique things that you want to see them develop in. Natural speed, though, another guy that can stretch the field. So Alabama's wide receiver room has a lot of value and a lot of underrated value, if you ask me. Your big names in that room being Sedarius Morgan and Ryan Williams, I think are the guys that kind of get the attention. You look at Ryan Williams, he was the freshman phenom. He's had the hype for the last 2 years, going on year 3 now. And then you look at Sedarius Morgan, the big name in-state wide receiver now, the next Julio Jones of this Alabama wide receiver legacy. But there's a lot of names that go hidden. Starting one with Rico Scott. Rico Scott is a wide receiver that I think is going to create a lot of mismatches in this offense this year. I don't know if he's going to be the true the true 4th guy off the bench or the true number 4 receiver in the slot this year, but I do think anytime you see him on the field, his targets will lead to big plays. He's a big play wide receiver. Kind of reminds me a lot of Henry Ruggs in his impact and his style of route running, and even in his physicality. Another physical wide receiver, and even look at his frame, man. He's starting to put on that weight. He's I think he's about 5'11", 6 foot. Yeah, 185, getting to that 190 frame. That's what you want from those frame guys. Him, Ryan Williams, all those guys that's between 5'11" and 6'1". You want those guys to be in that 180 to 195, 200 range. And if they can maintain that speed, that acceleration, the agility, the elusiveness in those frames, they're hard to bring down in the open field. Not everybody has big defensive backs in their backfield like Alabama. So we'll be able to do that. Now, we got Latair Brooks is another name that I think people are going to have to kind of calm down about, because I think he's going to demand a lot of attention early on. Everybody in college football saw big play breakability from this young man last year. Now, you have a quarterback that could get the ball to him and throw him in stride. Latair Brooks probably has 8 to 10 touchdowns last year. Ryan Williams also. I think Ryan Williams has maybe 10 plus 15 if you had a quarterback that could lead receivers. This year, you're going to have a problem with guys in their arm strength. Timing will be the thing that we have to see emerge from both of these quarterbacks. And I think, not Ty Simpson, I think Keelan Russell has that already, has that aspect. And I think that's where Austin Mack struggles, the timing of getting these guys in stride. Once again, when we're talking about burners, Latair Brooks. But if Tyler Henderson can somehow find a way to be a specialty type of package player, I couldn't imagine trying to do a basic zone drop, right? And even I'm not even just saying taking the top off of defenses. I'm talking about just getting the ball to a lot of guys in space. I couldn't imagine like trying to guard Ryan Williams on the boundary and Latair Brooks in the slot next to him, and then putting a splitting Kevin Riley on your boundary on the other side, or a AK Deer as the back out there, and then putting who else? I said Rico Scott. No, I said Ryan Williams, and then I said Latair Brooks, and then put in a Rico Scott as your Z, right? And then putting Aubrey Walker or Tyler Henderson as your slot, or even a Sedarius Morgan. Like we saw the formation, they had Sedarius Morgan and Derek Meadows
with Latair Brooks at the slot on one side. Then they split the tight end on the other side and had Ryan Williams on the boundary on the other. Like, that's going to be a hard set. And we're talking about with a decent protection game, right? If you're blitzing on that group, you get any one of those guys in open space with the ball, man, they're hard to bring down. Ryan Williams, super slippery. Latair Brooks, you just can't get your hands on him. Rico Scott, super physical. Derek Meadows, a big body, just hard to bring down. We have him listed at 6'7". 6'7". I know the last update I got from him was 215. So that young man is going to be a mismatch problem. It's going to be a matchup problem. How does that fare with Alabama? It all depends on the quarterback for me, guys. It all depends on the quarterback selection. I think your full-time starter definitely needs to have that vertical passing game. That should be his best ball, his deep ball, whether it's the post, the deep corner, the fade, the back shoulder, right? All of those need to be his best balls. And then the ability to get it out early, to throw guys open in those windows is going to be huge, right? Because I do believe guys like Ryan Williams, a guy like Ryan Williams, I'm not going to say guys like, but a guy like Ryan Williams who struggled with drops in his first 2 years in college football. I guarantee you a young man like that is back to prove something. All he needs is some clean opportunities. Don't put him in situations to where he has to put his body on the line so much. And you expect him, right? But let's not set him up for that. Get somebody that's going to throw him open, give him that confidence, build that trust. So when he does have to put his body on the line, there's no second thought about it. There's no hesitation. All right? So that's part of it. Now, breakout player. I do think we're going to have a breakout player in the wide receiver room. And it's to me, breakout to me is taking your game from last year and putting it on another level, right? And I don't think this is to me, what Ryan Williams did his freshman year was awesome. What he did last year, he struggled. He had a sophomore slump. But I think more so than now, you're going to see more people involved. I think Derek Meadows this is his season. I think this is his season. A big body frame in this Kalen DeBoer offense. We saw Rome Odunze be a freaking monster in this vertical passing threat of an offense. I do think Derek Meadows is going to be the breakout guy. When I say breakout, a 600-700 yard reception season for Derek Meadows with 40 receptions, 50 receptions, that's doable. That's doable. You're talking about a vertical threat. If you can average 14 to 17 yards per catch, right? Get in the end zone on a few jump balls, it could be crazy. Getting ready for the show myself. Just wanted to check in on my brother Smook. What's up, Jason? Good to see you in the chat, man. Good to see you. Give it up over Jason, Hall of Fame Jason. Bro. So I do think Derek Meadows will be the breakout receiver. Who will be the leader in this group? I'm gonna go with Ryan Williams. I think Ryan Williams steps up this year. I've been seeing some workout clips. We've been to the facility once. We've spoken with some people in the program, and the young man is in a different type of zone. Even in the spring ball, I have to admit, man, I gave him a lot of crap last year. Too great of a talent to just not finish plays. And I do believe that's his goal. He wants to finish plays this year. And he's gonna, I think he's setting the tone with his work ethic that's never been in question, staying consistent in that, but also making himself available to the fan base and to the people surrounding Alabama culture to truly see, but beyond the media approach of him, right? What's good, Jason? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Roll Tide. Give it up for Jason, y'all. So that's who I think will be the leader. And I mean leader, I do think this is a 10-plus touchdown type season for Ryan Williams. Does he hit that 1K number? I just don't see anybody in this wide receiver room hitting 1,000 yards unless it just becomes a situation where you have that one wide receiver like Devontae Smith amongst a lot of receivers. He just finds a lot of open spots. I don't think that'll be Ryan Williams this year with Latair Brooks on this roster. I think the dark horse for this room will be Aubrey Walker. I think Aubrey Walker will be the dark horse, the guy that ends up getting 1 or 2 snaps in a random game, and you see him get the Latair Brooks treatment. Ryan is too good not to be better in year 3. I agree. Facts. I think you had a 17-year-old amongst a lot of experienced veterans, and his flaws were able to be
able to be hidden for the first 6 weeks of college football. You didn't expect a 17-year, and so. But I do think Aubrey Walker will be the guy, and his speed is just second to none. You get if I had it my way, Aubrey Walker to earn his spot on the field, we would throw him back there, kick return with Latair Brooks, right, and just let those guys. It's too much speed to contain, for 4 or 5 times in a game. And the thing is, if you think about it, if the defense is doing their job, it won't be a lot of kickoff return opportunity. But imagine having 2 guys that are legit 4.3 speeds. Latair Brooks 4.34. Aubrey Walker 4.39. Back there, man, come on, man. It's a lot of speed in that wide receiver room. And then I think the big play receiver will be your boy Ryan Williams this year. I do think he's going to have a couple of highlights this year. Big play receiver. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick infomercial break. We want to give you the information on how to join the AAA family. Once we get back, we're going to talk to defensive backs real quick. We're not going to go way in depth with the defensive backs because I think we've done a segment breaking them down and giving them their ratings. But we're going to talk about the defensive backs because I want to identify something real quick that I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to when it comes to Alabama with defensive backs. So right after these messages, we'll be back with the second part of our segment here on the Coach Smook Network. Tap in with us, man. Join the AAA family.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
You're talking about Jalen Milroe and the Pips? The perfect weak side linebacker, right? Put him next to the mic.
It's not going to take us a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just feel sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
All right, y'all, let's get into it. Alabama defensive backs, man, they surprised the country last year with the amount of turnovers that Bray Hubbard and company were able to create. Xavier Brown, Dijon Lee, another big name, big playmaker in the secondary. Saw Devontae Jackson show up a few times, very slightly. But when you talk about guys that are returning on the roster this year, Alabama returns a lot. Even Keon Sapp, the fifth-year safety, him and Bray Hubbard coming back is huge. It just provides so much cushion and comfortability at the top of the defense. But then when you look at the talent that's going to be in rotation behind that safety rotation, you're talking about the true freshman, Jaira Edwards. You're going to hear a lot of his name, and he's going to get a lot of playing time. Ivan Taylor,
the red shirt freshman. He's in the system for his second year, a guy that was called on a lot of times. And you saw Hubbard or Stab needing breaks, or they went down there in the season with slight injuries. You saw Taylor get opportunities. Dre Kirkpatrick, 21. I want everybody to highlight that name. This guy is on a I guess you could say what is it when you're coming back? A redemption tour. He's on a redemption tour. His dedication to the game. I know one thing. We look at the play that was made on him in the spring game with Cedarian Morgan, but I truly believe that in when the lights are on, you got certain players that showed up, and Dre is a lights on. Him and Red Morgan, another name that's returning out of that secondary. These guys are some big hit, jump the ball type players. And I truly believe the confidence in this system is going to play huge for their production this year. Shout out to Bethany for liking the stream on TikTok. Give it up for the TikTok family. Jason, I see you. Muffin Cakes, I see you. Mondarius, Erica, I see y'all tapping the screen over there. Thank y'all for the love. Appreciate y'all once again. Somebody type it in the chat while we get into this conversation. Put me in the game, Coach Smook. I would greatly appreciate that. Got to get our algorithm up. If everybody right now watching on all platforms, type it in the chat. Put me in the game, Coach Smook. I appreciate y'all. Now, defensive backs. Do we have that graphic back there, Jordan? If so, pull them up. Let's pull up that defensive back room. I want to talk about the guys that's available. We talked about Saab. We talked about Hubbard. We talked about Dijon Lee, Xavier Brown. This room is a different type of specialty. Look at the cornerback room, y'all. Xavier Brown, Red Morgan, Carmelo O'Neal, Dijon Lee, Chuck McDonald. 5 DBs that I think right now would be your primary corners on most roster. Maybe not Carmelo O'Neal, somebody that I was able to evaluate in the spring game. Seeing him in that live action, I see why Alabama is still going with Red Morgan playing that nickel corner, keeping him solid there. And the guy Chuck McDonald on the boundary, somebody that I think is going to end up getting a lot of reps with Xavier Brown and Dijon Lee on the boundary. Those three rotating. It's going to be lockdown central. 3 big body DBs, might I add. You're talking about 6 foot 180, but 190. We got to update that 190. Xavier Brown, strong. We saw his skill set and coverage ability. But then you got the ISO side where you got 6'5", Dijon Lee, 6'5", 205, Dijon Lee, another young man that's grown since he's arrived and put on a lot of weight since he's been at Alabama. You look at also once again, Chuck McDonald, another big body DB, 6 foot, right? Not the 6'2" plus that you've been seeing, but you look at the frame. Another guy that I believe once we suit up 205, 210, he has the body frame for it. And all of these guys can track it with speed. They all can stay in phase with the third phase routes. You don't have problem with throwing them and having them travel across the formation, across the field. Physical assets that tackle well in open space. And then you couple that with the physical presence of Red Morgan and Carmelo O'Neal from the slot corner position. Your cornerbacks across the board are looking good. You didn't hear me mention much about Nick Sherman. I do think he'll end up ultimately being in that safety room. If you saw 29 during the scrimmage, that's who Sherman was, the transfer. I think he'll ultimately be in that safety room. Very rangy. And then the true freshmen, both Edmonds and Zion Gibson. I think Edmonds is one that I felt like if we didn't have a ZB, a Dijon Lee, a Chuck McDonald, I think he would be a starter. Right? And that's no disrespect to any of the other DBs on the roster. But I think if he didn't have to deal with the Xavier Brown or Dijon Lee or Chuck McDonald, I think Jordan Edmonds would be CB1 as a true freshman. Zion Gibson going to need to grow. He's going to need to grow. Just I'm talking about in the playbook. Natural athlete though, probably got the best ball skills. Second, third best ball skills in the room as a true freshman. So a lot of upside for this cornerback room. Look at the safeties. We got the safeties available. Yes, sir. Shout out to my producers in the back, man, keeping the screen clean and making it do what it do. Keon Sabb, like I said, Sabb and Hub returning is huge. Sabb and Hub returning is huge. I'm going to skip over Zay Mincy for a second. Dre Kirkpatrick, Ivan Taylor, Jairo Edwards. I think when you see the safeties represented in your dime packages, when you see the safety in the box as far as the nickel walking down as the Rover or / Husky, whichever way the formation balances, I think you will see that heavy rotation of Jairo Edwards, Ivan Taylor, and Dre Kirkpatrick be some of your guys that's giving Hubbard, who's going to be your primary box strong safety type for this defensive scheme this year. I think you'll see those other guys get opportunities to get in there and play that position, that assignment in that scheme. With Sapp being a steady presence over top, he and Dre being a steady presence at the top. Now Zay, a lot of people ask about what's going on with Zay Mensah. I think this is a young man that they weren't sure how he would develop as he stayed with the 25 class. They wasn't sure how he would develop at corner. And once they made the permanent move to safety, I think there's a few technique things that he's continuing to struggle with. But someone that's growing and maybe a fourth-year asset when you looking for a veteran presence. Mind you, he's going to be a senior next year. Look at what's behind him. Ivan Taylor, Edwards will be a sophomore. Ivan Taylor will be a junior. Kelly will be a sophomore. And we don't have a current safety commit in this class. But you got to think that he will have an opportunity to be a veteran presence with this safety room. So going to be interesting. But I think this group as a whole, you talking about what's on paper, is very valuable. You look at the experience factor from Sapp and the big play makeability that he has. You look at Hubbard leading the team on the roster right now with turnovers. Also, what's crazy is I think Yanzi Pierre only has one or two more sacks than Bray Hubbard. So he provides a box asset, an extra linebacker on the field that you don't get with everybody else in this room. Well, now that you have Jairo Edwards, you get it from him. But before, you saw a lot of that from Bray Hubbard. And then Drake Kirkpatrick and Ivan Taylor, they're one and the same to me with their skill sets. Guys that you really trust with run containment, being the last line of defense, open field tackling, bringing that pop from the third level in the middle of the field. Guys that you can push down and tighten them up on the hashes and put them closer to the box so that you can have some run game assets. I think this safety room is the best. Going to do the same thing with the defensive backs, y'all. Who do I see breaking out this year when I think about guys that have an opportunity? I'm going to start off with Chuck McDonald. I think last year with Damani Jackson and Cam Calhoun and Deshaun Jones being on roster, if you didn't have a Deshaun Jones, Cam Calhoun, Chuck McDonald does not get red-shirted when he plays in more games. The way that Red Morgan played at the slot, I think Chuck would have got opportunities at the slot in that rotation at the nickel corner. But also with Dijon Lee and Xavier Brown kind of becoming the 1-2 punch for our secondary at probably like week 4 of last season, I think you would have saw a young group of guys kind of start to ascend at the same time. Now, I do think Chuck will have a few weeks where he's going to need to get up to speed with the game. But by the end of the season, he might be your mainstay on the boundary, allowing Xavier Brown, Carmelo O'Neal, and Red Morgan to kind of man that nickel corner. So I think ZB works better out nickel. His coverage ability, he tackles well. His boundary containment on run support is probably the best we see next to Red Morgan. How they come down and kind of steal the edge and force the play back inside. So you need that out of your nickel corner. And then he's smart too. We've seen him get thrown in on some cornerback blitzes. Like I said, guys that can play in multiple spots in the secondary, they create a lot of value for themselves in the defensive scheme like this. And then my star, my leader of this group, believe it or not, I do think Bray Hubbard will be the leader. I think he'll be the lead production guy. I think, once again, his just innate ability to create turnovers. Him and Keon Sapp, I believe, will have a special type of 1-2 duo, 1-2 punch type season as they are in what presumably their draft stock year, their draft year, where they're going to be entering the draft after this season. So a lot of highlights across the secondary. And the young star that we've been talking about it, but I don't think we really know what we have. Jairo Edwards, I can't wait for you all to see him in live action. I got to see him twice during his high school career. I watched the YouTube channel that covers his high school team. And this is the young man. He's been ready since his sophomore year. He's been collegiate ready since his sophomore year. And we're going to have an opportunity to see it at Alabama. So excited about that. Now, we're going to get into the phone lines. On the phone lines, man, we're talking wide receivers, DBs in the show, but you, the fans, whatever's on your mind, get ready to talk to us here on the Coach Smook Network. We want to give a shout out to our sponsors first, Walk-Ons, for supporting us and supporting this college segment. And then when we get back, we're going to give another shout out to another sponsor on the show that's been supporting us and helping us grow. Check out our sponsors, walk-ons. Check it out here on the Coach Smook Network.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
At Walk-On's Sports Bistro, the games are on, the food's delicious, and here you are always part of the team. Welcome to Walk-On Sports Bistro, where every day is game day. Whether it's a post-win celebration, drinks after work, or taking the fam for some made-from-scratch favorites, Walk-On's is your go-to for good times, craft beer and cocktails, and bold flavors for fans of all ages. From melty mozzarella logs to Hall of Fame level burgers. Stop by today or order online or in the app. Walk-On's Sports Bistro. Game on.
Yes, sir. We're back. Hey, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. One more time before we get into a calling segment, we want to thank our sponsors, First Place Barbering here in Montgomery, Alabama. We appreciate you all for supporting the Coach Smook Network. We appreciate y'all for the content that you provide. Cut up with Coach Smook. Y'all, we're going to be filming our first episode here next week. I can't wait to get it recorded for y'all and edited up and chopped up. One of the guests on the show, one of the co-hosts, will be Kelsey Shepard over at First Place Barbering. This is going to be a fun little event, fun little thing we're adding to the show, and y'all going to enjoy it. But we want to give them a shout out for sponsoring our calling segment. And now, somebody type it in the chat. Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's do it, Jordan.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Hey, chat. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Let's get it. We got our phone lines open, 334-625-1121. Here on the Coach Smook Network. Call in, say your name, and put me in the game. Coach Smook will get you here on the line. Let me make sure I got the audio routed correctly. Yes, we do. Look at God. I want you to do it. And we got our first call on the line. Let's see. Y'all know who it is, man. The number one caller here.
Call from Zach Willie. To accept.
Yo, Zach, what's up, man? You in the game with Coach Smook? Talk to me, man.
What's good, Coach Smook and my AAA family? How are y'all doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing good, Zach. I'm doing good. Listen, brother, we talking wide receivers, DBs. I think we're in for an exciting year when it comes to the group that we have on both sides of the ball in the playmaking spots of this offense and this defense. Talk to me, Zach. What's your thoughts on Bama's wide receiver room and the defensive back room?
Yes, I'm excited for both because Ron's going to have a bounce back year, a redemption year. Derek Meadows, this is his year to break out and show us what he's really made of, because he had opportunities last year, but they got cut short with his concussion. Latsier Brooks, with a competent, more accurate quarterback, will really get to show off his speed and big play capability. Rico Scott's going to have a breakout year. This is his opportunity to really show out and prove to us what he's got in his arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
On the defensive side of the ball, Xavier Brown, Dijon Lee, Bray Hubbard, Keon Sabb, and all of them. I mean, they just have another opportunity to step up and show how dominant this secondary room can really be.
Zach, it's crazy. It's crazy, Zach. I think back now, and we're bringing back our full secondary. Both Red Morgan, Dijon Lee, Xavier Brown, they started games together. Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard, this will be their third season together.
So this when you have secondaries like that, and the type of talent you expect up front with your defensive line, you don't have to depend on your linebacker group to do as much. You kind of limiting them guys and putting them in a box to allow them to pin their ears back. And that's what allows the secondary to be crazy good and create a lot of turnovers. They don't have to be out of phase a lot. This can be a dangerous group. When you started naming those names again, I was like, we're getting 5 starters back in the secondary.
Right. And it also allows for our linebacker room, because it's so young, to grow and get over those growing pains. You know, that we expect with a young linebacker room. You know, and then going to the defensive line, I mean, with the talent that we have on the defensive line this year, I mean, this defense is endless, has endless possibilities. And then if our whole offense comes together too, I mean, man, this team could be absolutely dangerous, you know, this season, and it could throw off a lot of teams that aren't expecting it, that think Alabama's done because of Kalen DeBoer, you know, and his staff. And I don't necessarily agree with passing first to open up the run, but I know that's how Coach DeBoer likes to do it, and so we got to run with it. You know, go with what works, and with these player at quarterback that I think we're going to have as the season goes on, it just opens up way more opportunities for our run game to be successful with how we run our offense, you know.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I think, like you said, and like everybody else has seen and believes, I think the key is the quarterback. And do I think Austin Mack is capable? Yes. Do I think he's the best option though? No. I think you go with your best option this year. You don't go with the guy that's capable. You go with the best option. And when I say best option, I mean like the guy that he keeps your playbook open. He keeps your playbook open. Nobody can limit you when this guy's at quarterback. And I think you get that with Keelan Russell, especially when you're talking about maximizing the effectiveness of this wide receiver room. We didn't even talk about the tight end room. It's a lot of tight ends on this roster that add to the receiving core and what the production looks like. But I truly believe the wide receivers will be able to impact the game if we have the correct quarterback.
Right. And I mean, you seen what Cedarian Morgan was able to do in the spring game with the right quarterback.
Right.
You know, he made plays. You know, so I can see with Keelan Russell, this offense is wide open to be as big as it wants to be. You know, and explosive. I mean, I see Bryce Young type explosion with this offense if everything comes together, you know, and Keelan goes out there and beats Keelan, you know. So like I said, I'm more excited for the defense because I know how dangerous this defense is going to be with the likes of Bray Hubbard and Keon Sabb and all of them, you know, because Bray ain't afraid to put his head down and lay some people out.
That part. I'm looking at the defensive passing stats from last year. You got to think. I think Bray Hubbard had 4 interceptions last year, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Xavier Brown had 4. 2 of them for pick six. I think Dijon Lee had 3. Damani Jackson had 1. I mean, a lot of these guys that's returning. Keon Sabb had 1 last year, I believe, 1 or 2. So this is a lot of guys that know how to make plays on the ball, returning in the secondary. And once you figure out who's going to be that nickel corner that kind of gives you the full field coverage because we've seen Red Morgan continue to struggle in some early downs when it comes to passing coverage. Now, one thing I will say, I saw some technique things from Red this past spring that I haven't seen from him since he's been on campus. And to me, that gives me confidence that he's starting to pay attention as far as his leverage and understanding what his cushion is like at this level. Because at the high school level, Red he could let people climb up in his cushion and kind of, because of the ball, the arm talent that he was playing against, guys will miss a step. But at the collegiate level, it's not as often. That doesn't happen as often. So he's got to be a little bit quicker on his anticipation. I think what we saw from him during spring ball was a great indicator of where he could be headed if he just continues to develop on this trajectory.
Fact. And I agree. And we have all seen Red have his moments, but I have full faith in Red just like I did ZB. We've seen ZB have his struggles as a freshman. He overcame them and has become one of the best cornerbacks in college football, in my opinion.
So,
but yeah,
man, that's gonna be. So check this out, Zach. Do you think Alabama has a 1,000-yard receiver this year? If so, who?
If we would have to have a Bryce-like explosion on offense, and for me to see that happening, and if I wide receiver that does it, and I see it from Lottier Brooks because of his speed, his breakaway speed, his Waddle-like skill sets, and Waddle kind of got robbed his last year at Alabama because of the injury, because Waddle was having a great season before he got hurt. And then Waddle went down, Devontae just exploded, and became the beast we know he is,
Yeah. Now, and so you said it would be Lottier Brooks if Alabama did have a 1,000-yard receiver. Final thing before we get out of here, Zach, who would you think leads Alabama's defensive backs in turnovers created, interceptions?
Who do I think will have the most or least?
Yeah, the most interceptions in the secondary.
I would have to go with, it's between Bray and ZB for me right now, because they both have continued to show me that trajectory. I'm going to go with ZB on that one.
Okay.
I'm going to go with ZB on that one. I'm going to give him the slight edge on that one.
All right. Well, Zach, last thought, man, before we let you off the line, brother.
Just roll tide to my AAA family. Love you guys, and I'll holler at y'all later.
Yes, sir. Hey, Zach, tell them one time, man.
Yes,
tell them one time, man.
Put me in the game, Coach Smith.
Yes, sir. Y'all give it up for my boy Zach and Roll Tide, man. Yes, sir. I've been waiting to do that one. I'm glad I remember. That's why I was looking down, y'all. I was looking at my notes on my show. I was like, let me make sure before I close the calls out from now on, we get the people on the lines to yell, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I want to start putting those on the clips that we post. I want your voices on the instead of mine. Bama would have had a 1,000-yard receiver if Ryan would have had so many drops. Ryan Williams would have had a few 100-yard games. That is true. Ryan Williams would have had at least 3 games. Well, I say Florida State game, he could have had 100 yards. Because you catch that dig route, that's a 15-plus yarder. You probably take that one 40-plus. You drop the deep ball touchdown, that was a 40-plus yarder. That's 80 yards right there, plus the plays that you did, man. You would have had over 100 yards receiving. Georgia game, you dropped a big one. That was like a 55-yarder, 60-yarder. But you still had a decent game that week. You dropped some the Missouri game. Oklahoma game. Tennessee game. He had a lot of drops. You're right. He probably could have had. But also, man, and then I think if you get a more confident quarterback, you might have 2 1,000-yard receivers in last year's scheme. Because Lachier Brooks would have been like your third guy in receiving. Him and Rico Scott would have been 3 and 4 with Derek Meadows being 5. But Jeremy Bernard, too, a lot of times was winning his matchups early and just was being underthrown. You know, even the tight ends, not Dupree, Josh Cuevas and Caleb Edwards. It was a couple times in the middle of the field, man. You get it right over the linebacker's head. You just see that, throw it over in that opening, that window. Guys like that can get you big yards, can average, and even though they weren't getting the opportunities, they still average double-digit receiving yard average per catch. So those are good stats. We're going to go ahead and transition up out of here, y'all. We're coming up on that hour time frame. Like I said, our call-in shows, we're not going to be on the call-in shows long until the season kicks back off. But we do appreciate Zach for calling in. If you want to comment on this topic, if you want to leave a thought on this topic, you can call in and leave a voicemail, 334-625-1121. Say your name and put me in the game, Coach Smook. And you tell me what you think about Alabama's current receiver room going into the fall 2026 kickoff. What you think about the defensive backs? Who's your big guy in the wide receiver room? Who's your go-to guy? Who's your number one DB creating the most turnovers here for the University of Alabama and the Crimson Tide football program? Y'all, we're going to transition up out of here and get ready to close out the show. I thank y'all for tapping in today. Let me see. I think we're not going to have to do a break. We're just going to go ahead and transition from here. Later on tonight, we might be back live at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be able to confirm by 3, but we might be live again. I'm getting some messages about some recruiting things. I want to do a members-only video. I want to put it out probably by noon. I'll be able to do so. We might get an announcement later on today. Hopefully, it doesn't come out before I go to post this live or go live for our members only. But if you're not a member of the AAA family, take an opportunity to become a member and continue to support. Shout out again to all of our sponsors and all of our members of the AAA family and everybody else that's supporting Coach Smook Network. All of our new subscribers, thank you. All of our TikTok followers, thank you. Continue to support your boy. If you're looking to help us support another movement, another awareness, terminal illness awareness, breast cancer awareness, my sister, somebody that I've become real close with since 2020, since COVID hit, met her, started her journey, fitness journey, found out she was diagnosed with cancer, found out she has cancer, stage 4, an aggressive form of it, and caught her by surprise. So we're praying for her and supporting her with our fitness movement. And if you want to help us do that, check us out on TikTok at Coach Smook on our platforms. But check us out on TikTok to help with that initiative. That's a huge one. Of course, we're always supporting autism awareness. All of the personnel that have been diagnosed with autism, you know, the Coach Smook Network, we support you 100%. We're behind you 1,000% in bringing awareness to your lifestyle and any other awareness, mental health awareness, social justice awareness, all of these awareness programs. We want to contribute and continue to impact by just being a light wherever we step. So thank y'all for supporting and be a part of that. And if you see me in the streets, holla at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Roll Tide and be blessed. Take us out, Jordan.
In my bones, crimson in my veins, talking Bama in the microphone. Look me up on YouTube, true cut straight from the stone. Ain't no selling fairy tales, I'm exposing what they want. Alabama football, yeah, I live it, yeah, I breathe it. From the streets to the bleachers, every angle, yeah, I see your film, study so militant. I ain't guessing a thing. Break it down, every snap is like a coach of the team. Authenticity above all, that's where I stand. If you ain't a real fan, you'll fail with the fan. They tried to box me in, and I kicked the dough off the frame. Turn the pressure into power, put my stamp on the game. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, Coach Smook, that's what they saying. Put me in the game, Coach, in the game. Put me in the game, Coach, that's what they saying.
Players and the staff are pulling up right now for today's scrimmage. Coach David Ballou in the front. Y'all can see everybody pulling up, man. And boys over there, look at Deontay.
Hey, I'm walking out of Walmart. Hey, what's your name, bro?
Man, my name Michael McKinney, man. I'm a true Alabama fan, and this man does a good job on his podcast,
What's up, bro?
reviewing Alabama football. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate that, bro. Roll Tide, man.